Greetings, fellow investigators, and welcome back to our video podcast, Into the Darkness, where my friends and I play the Call of Cthulhu role-playing game. I'm your host, Tom Rayleigh. Our scenario is called The Seventh Circle. It was written by Matthew Sanderson, and this is episode 3. Our game master is Tyler Hudek, and our recap will be given by Thomas McKeon. Looks like the players are ready. Let's begin our journey into the darkness. Thomas?
Thanks, Tom. Last time the players journeyed to the coast of the island where the team began unloading and preparing the journey to the house. But before any of this occurred, it was discovered that by Dave Sterling that incredibly strange things have occurred at the lighthouse. And it's possible that it wasn't by accident those people went missing. When William and Ianto arrived in town, they set up lodging and procured a boat to take them to the house in the morning. Weather seemed good, but apparently that could change at any moment on the Scottish coast. Donald goes through the equipment as the others arrive, and when they do, it is quickly realized that rooms 1 and 3 are the last locations of the missing husband. It is decided by the team that a quick seance is necessary, and led by Sterling, Irene reaches out into the abyss, calling out for someone to speak with them. But no one did. The spirits were mysteriously silent. Morning came, and with an 8 a.m. call time, the team left the hotel and headed to the boat. As they sailed to their destination, Irene is struck by something. The void goes quiet around her. She hears nothing from the spirit world, and her nose begins to bleed. We leave off with everyone rushing over to her, asking what's happened.
So when we last left, you were all on the boat heading towards Elin Moore. And that's when Irene almost like hit a brick wall while on the boat, slamming her back, and she lost total perception of anything in the spirit world. Everything had, in her whole life, while she's been able to talk to the spirits, they're already in background noise. And as she got hit with this barrier and gone through, she can't hear anything. It's for the first time in her life, it's silent. And everybody can see this happen. I mean, it looks like she gets hit with something, and she moves back a couple feet, grabbing her head, stumbling around a little bit. One thing I want to ask is, William, when all of this is happening, are you with the rest of the crew on the boat?
I mean, I imagine that I'm on the dock. I'm on the deck, probably smoking a cigarette.
Okay.
So I imagine I see this.
Okay.
So if I turn and look, what am I seeing? Is she like on the deck?
You see her standing there 1 second, not looking like she's enjoying the ride, seeing the island in the distance coming closer, and then all of a sudden it's like somebody pushes her back. She stumbles back a couple feet, gets very pale, and just looks stunned.
Is there anyone else around here? I remember at the end of the last episode, we had Karen. Karen was rushing over to Irene.
Yes, well, I think we were all sort of standing there together.
Right.
Yeah. If the entire team
was panicked.
If the entire team is over there, I don't care.
We kept her from falling, and
yeah. If the entire team's over there, I'm not going to do anything. I'm just going to kind of shrug it off and continue smoking my cigarette. It's probably seasick.
Okay.
So I'm going to keep smoking, looking out towards the house.
Okay. The rest of you, as you see this happen to Irene, what are you doing?
Well, I obviously, as she falls to the ground, I kneel next to her, and I'm like, "Are you all right? Are you okay? God, what happened? Do you need me? Do you need me to, you're bleeding?" She can't even. She's that worried.
He goes, I'm okay. We're in trouble.
What happened?
Let's just get going. Let me catch my breath for a minute.
Okay.
And
For sure.
There are kind of little, like, not seats, but there are boxes around that you can kind of sit down on and just kind of rest, and you feel wiped. and you do have a very bad feeling of whatever is coming is not going to be good.
Yeah, I'm gonna, clean up my face and try to get my bearings back.
Okay.
I sit with her and make sure she didn't hit her head or anything, and that she really is okay.
Okay. Yeah, she seems okay beyond being shaken. But the boat continues on this whole time, getting closer and closer to the island. And as you get closer, you start to see the island come more into focus. And as you get closer, you start to see the lighthouse appear on the island. It juts up of the island. And the island basically looks like this huge rock in the middle of the ocean. The closer you get, you see the lighthouse come more into focus. It's a very large stone lighthouse. It's early in the day, so it's not turned on right now. And as you get closer, you finally get to be about maybe a mile away from the island. And the goal of what you've been trying to get to, the house, comes into view. From where you're at, the island probably raises up out of the ocean a couple 100 feet at least, and so you can only see just very bits and pieces of it. But from where you're at, you can see the dome top and the windmill generator that sits on top of it. But the closer you get, the more you get a bad feeling as you approach it, just with everything that's been going on with what happened to Irene and everything that you've heard. It's all kind of weighing down on you right now.
That's well, Irene, I hope that you are okay. Donald, it's too bad we didn't get that on film.
What did you? I mean,
I don't think that we were actually filming at the moment. I wish that she had told us that she was.
It would have been. We wouldn't have got any usable footage on this boat anyway. It's moving around too much.
Yeah, you have a
probably
steady cam. You have a steady cam. Yes.
Yeah, but it's not a steady surface, is it?
It's all right. The show's begun, obviously.
Isn't that how it works?
Well, I mean, if you want, I can shoot on the boat, but it'll look like an episode of NYPD Blue.
I don't know.
Well, it is a reality
I've never
show.
seen. Listen, I've never seen Irene act like this. I don't think she was acting.
Well, we'll see.
Okay, that's all. Maybe I'm being paranoid, but
I'm kind of curious.
Sorry.
I'm kind of curious how we're going to. That's a rather impressive looking island. I wonder if there's a small port or.
And you do see, as you get closer, you do see a dock that the boat is heading to, and from the dock there is a from this distance it looks like a dirt or a concrete path that leads up the side of one of the cliffs with like a small railway or something, probably to transport goods to the lighthouse.
I see, like a funicular or whatever.
Can we
Like a footpath.
Can we see the house from here?
Just the top, but you. The closer you get to the island, understand that the island, the cliffs on the island are probably 40 or 50 feet tall, and so the closer you get to it, the more its view gets obscured by the oncoming cliffs.
Right.
Close to you.
We shall probably not get a good look at it until we reach the top of the cliffs.
Well, it'll definitely give us some good shots. It'd make a great backdrop for the intro of the. Maybe we could do a time lapse, have the sunset coming down.
It's not quite the cliffs of insanity that I had hoped for, but I'm not looking forward to walking up that path there. We didn't bring any kind of vehicles.
You have it bad. Donald's got to carry all that equipment himself.
I'm not carrying all of it.
Well, he doesn't have to carry it all. We'll help him.
The boat finally. Oh, sorry.
Sorry, I was just going to say, can I sort of just go and sit next to Mr. Preston?
Yeah, there's absolutely enough room on the boat.
I won't do anything to draw any attention to myself, but just while I'm lighting a cigarette or something, I'm just going to say, I can maybe have a little word with you later on.
I smile at you, and I kind of flick the ash into the sea. I say, "What about?"
Well, just the way this whole production's structured, it's a bit weird, don't you think? I mean, where's the rest of the crew?
I slowly nod my head and I say, "Well, we can talk more about that a little bit later, towards lunch. So about
Yeah.
We'll find a place. Yeah. I've been meaning to talk to you too. It seems like you have a pretty good resume and you know what you're doing. So my question is why don't you have the support? And with the money that's going in,
this would never. If this was a BBC production, this would never run.
No. And I look to the group because I imagine everyone's kind of still grouped around, and I say, besides, I came up as a grip, and then I moved on into an editing position. They're producers and researchers and talent. They don't understand every nuance that you have to go through. So we'll talk a little later. But do you need help carrying the gear? I can probably grab some.
Yeah. If you could take one of the cases, that'd be great. I mean, if we all take one of the cases, we'll get it done in one go.
Sure.
I don't mind taking a couple, but
no, we're a team, I think. And I kind of laugh at that, and I throw the cigarette in the water as the boat lands.
Well, as you do that and the boat gets closer, you come up to a dock, and you're approaching from onto the east side of the island. And there's a very small wooden dock there to hook up to tie up to. And McGregor kind of maneuvers the boat around so it's coming in on its side when all of a sudden this wave crashes into the side of the boat, hitting it harder than anybody expected, slamming it into the dock. Everybody give me a dex roll.
Oh, no.
I'm good.
Pass.
Oh yeah, 16. I'm fine.
33 out of 40.
So if you fail, take a D4 of damage as you get thrown into the side of some boxes or falling onto the deck and sliding across it as the boat just slams into the dock. And as it does, you can hear this audible crunch of the dock and the boat impacting. McGregor just starts swearing up and down. After a couple seconds, he is able to kind of get things back in order. For a second there, he's running around frantically, but he throws the rope onto the dock, gets it tied up and secure, and cursing a bit more, kind of walks down and says, I'm sorry about that. These waves can kind of come out of nowhere. And he says, it's safe now to start unloading your gear. Let me go down and check the boat to make sure there's no damage.
I took 2 hit points of damage on that one.
They're not joking when they talk about swearing like a sailor, are they?
No.
Oh, they
no,
are
not.
not.
I find it quite refreshing.
Let's grab the gear. Let's head up now. I don't want any of this expensive equipment falling in the ocean.
Of equipment, it might be a good idea to have one of us wear the cam vest, like the cam vest, so the on-person camera, so in case anything does happen out of the blue again, we would get it on camera when we couldn't have the actual camera set up.
Is it in
Just
a
a thought.
crate?
It is in a crate. It's all. I don't want to unpack anything here.
Yeah.
On a moving
Not
vehicle,
with
the boat.
this water and.
Yeah, don't wreck the
All
cameras.
right.
Once we get
Well, I guess
somewhere
we'll
dry
have
and
to talk
safe,
about it in
we
the
can.
intro.
I'm going to jump out onto the dock, and then they can hand me stuff
Yeah.
as we to get everything out of the boat.
Okay.
Yeah,
You're
I'll
able
help
to do
him
that.
handle it.
With everybody working together, you're able to do that. You get the dock is swaying back and forth from the waves crashing into it. It's one of those floating docks. It's not anchored to the bottom or anything. But you're able to finally get the equipment off the boat onto the land, which you now see is a kind of a cement walkway, a steep cement walkway up with iron tracks on each side, and there's a small pull cart there that you can put your equipment on and kind of pull it up these tracks to get to the top of the island. As you finish getting all the equipment onto the dock, McGregor comes up and swearing again and says, "We do have some damage down there, nothing that's going to keep us here, nothing to worry about, but it's going to take me 2 or 3 hours to fix. So if you guys want to go do whatever you're doing, I will come up after I get everything fixed."
All right. We had planned on being here most of the day, so
Even better.
Yeah, that's no problem at all.
all right. Well, good luck with that. We'll keep in touch with you.
All right. So he starts.
Should we leave him some sandwiches or something so that he has something to eat later?
Well, it's the least we can do. We should at least share the food with him.
Well, that's what we were planning on doing that, but when he joined us, I don't know how long it will take him. Let's leave him something.
And he thanks you when you hand him any food. Kind of smiles and hints that he has something stashed away, but he's glad for anything. You start heading up the cement walkway to the top of the island, and as you do, the first thing you notice as you're walking up is there's a cold, harsh wind that really makes you raise your voices to be heard above the gust of the wind, the constant crashing of the waves, and the crying of the gulls. The smell of wet, salty air is permeated everywhere. And as you get to the top of the path, you can see the island stretching out in front of you. It's a fairly large island, probably a mile or two in length and width. But everywhere you see wild, coarse grass just growing everywhere. It's a very wild area. There are rocky outcroppings all over the place. But the big things that you see all around you are the lighthouse surrounded by a stone wall. The walkway that you're on leads to the lighthouse. And then directly north of the lighthouse is the glass house standing in front of you. So you are on you have just come up the east dock. So I apologize. The lighthouse is to the north of the glass house. The glass house is surrounded by a garden wall, as does the lighthouse. It's surrounded by a rock wall. Both walls are probably, the lighthouse wall is about waist high from what you can see, and the garden wall around the glass house is probably neck high or a bit higher. The chapel that you heard about, you can see really looks more like just stone slabs laid on top of each other. You'd really put it as the size of a doghouse or maybe even like a medium tent from where you're at.
All right. Well, with a C-stand and probably the audio equipment in my hand, I'm going to go up the path towards what I assume would be the front door of the house. I want to make sure that it's not blocked off.
All right, so you start walking towards the house.
Out of curiosity, there's no lights on in the house, is there?
Correct. There's no lights. In fact, the only other things that seem to be alive on the house, from what you can tell, are the seagulls.
And there's a windmill spinning?
It is. The wind is very heavy. It's blowing really hard. So it is definitely spinning the turbine on top.
Why on earth would you want to live on a little chunk of rock with this much wind and scrub grass like this?
Oh, I kind of like it.
So isolated.
Well, I can see the attraction. Only shopping would be a pain in the ass. Bet Tesco don't deliver out here.
All right. So as you walk through
Well, if he's gonna,
sorry.
Oh, wow.
if he was gonna,
Hey.
oh wow.
Yeah, as you walk through the gate and step in through the wall, you can see the house standing in front of you. Again, it's about 150 meters wide, 150 meters tall, not including the turbine and the dome on top. Even from where you're standing, it is very impressive. William, you're standing at the entrance to the gate, and you can see the stone walkway goes directly straight ahead, and in fact, it goes. If you were to turn around, directly south of you is the lighthouse. They're lined up almost perfectly. The door to the glass house and the lighthouse, and you can see the door to the glass house is bricked up.
I
Wow.
immediately mutter under my breath, "Fuck!" and I rush to the bricked up door.
All right,
Good call on the
William,
sledgehammers, Yanto.
yeah, William races ahead. What is everybody else doing? You see him disappear through the wall.
Well, he's not going to be able to do much without the sledgehammer that I brought. But
I don't know.
Well-
This C-stand's pretty fucking heavy.
I noticed the gardens around it. It looks like does it look like they're fairly well kept? Wasn't there somebody coming over here keeping the
The
garden?
gardens are extremely well kept. In fact, yeah, you do remember hearing that somebody from the Great Northwestern Hotel would come over occasionally to take care of the gardens, to keep it up, and make sure that everything looked okay. And the gardens, they probably haven't been pruned in a couple of weeks, but they've definitely been taken care of, as has the path and everything on the outside.
Well, I'm interested in the chapel ruins maybe a little bit. What's going on with them? Are they lined up at all? I've probably already also noticed the path, but
Yeah, I mean, you can see where the chapel is. It's not lined up with anything here. You look at it, and it just, like I said, from your vantage, it just looks like a bunch of stone just stacked on top, slabs laid on top of each other. It's kind of feeling, it's tilting to the side a little bit. And you can see like this very low door that you would have to almost crawl into or kneel down in order to get into the inside of the chapel.
It's a very old ruin, yes.
Yes. Yes.
I want to go and get some footage of that bricked up door before we knock it down.
It's
That's a
quite
good
an
idea.
impressive. You should get to a shot of the walking up the path towards the house. Quite impressive.
Yes, yeah, through that.
Yes,
through
I
that, through that
thought you
hole
were
in the wall.
Get me
Through
walking up the path.
Okay.
I'll
Yeah,
walk
and can we?
Yeah.
I suppose we're going to have to. I mean, we can all take turns breaking it down, but if we just take some footage of Dave, just starting off with a few blows on the bricked up door.
Yep.
And
Anybody
then
got
maybe,
gloves?
then maybe everyone else takes a go, and then we'll cut to a few shots of
Yeah.
him finishing off and
Remember
breaking
too that we're here for the lighthouse. That Miss whatever her name was is hoping to sell the house.
Yes.
That's
Mhm.
sort of secondary, but it is quite impressive looking. Yes.
Everybody give me a spot hidden as soon as Yanto mentions the lighthouse.
Every head turns.
Ooh!
I got
Three!
I got a 3.
I spot nothing.
Yes,
I got a
46
14.
out of 60.
We both got a 3. That's
So
good.
for the eagle eyes
Nice.
in the group, as soon as Yanto mentions that, you all just kind of haphazardly look at the lighthouse and notice that the door to the lighthouse is actually swinging open.
Oh,
Like in the wind, or it's just opening?
It's a door that kind of opens to the inside. It's opened.
I imagine it's an iron door, but the door to the lighthouse is open.
I think the psychic needs to check that out.
So it is.
Okay.
Well, now let's not get too far ahead of ourselves. We need to be able to
We gotta
film
get footage
this.
of ourselves.
We need
I-
to
Yes, we
film
gotta
it.
get footage of ourselves going into the White House.
Oh yeah.
I approach Ianto and
Mhm.
I say, "Get the director programming on the phone now."
The phone? I can try. I don't know that
If we
there's
can't, the fact that this is boarded up,
Come
it's just
out.
we're gonna waste fucking hours trying to get this thing down, and we don't even know what the
And-
inside looks like.
Sorry,
And
you're
what
not,
you
you're not
sup-
going to tell me that
Yes,
we've
we
just come
do.
out
We
to an
saw the
island in the
blueprints.
middle of nowhere without a satellite phone.
Yeah, there is no signal.
Yes, no signal.
We haven't got a sat phone.
We have no choice. We have to break this down, or we aren't going to be able to see what's inside.
And we
It'll
already
be
knew
great
this.
for the show. It'll be exactly what they're expecting.
I look over the group and can tell that this is what they're gonna do, and this is just the level that they're at. So that kind of glare and frustration sort of evaporates, and I just smile and I say, "All right."
Let's look at this first now. We're here at the gate to the house. Let's make this our small little base of operations for the moment, and then it's up to you what you want to look at first: the house or the
We'll tuck the boxes over there out of the way.
yes.
Otherwise, they'll be shot. We'll take a shot of Dave and Irene walking down the path towards the house. And that sets up the house. Then, if you want, we can go and do go straight over to the lighthouse. We can do the knocking the door down later.
Yes.
Mhm.
And you know, they can splice all this together in the editing room. Trent. Dave.
Dave?
Have you got something to say? Something to introduce the house, introduce the area? You were supposed to be working on that last night, of course.
I could play up the awestruck bit.
Okay.
I was in the pub a little late. I could. Let me play. I'll play up the. Well, when I'm on. When are we on? When have you got the camera? Just tell me when. Tell me when I'm.
It'll be set up in a few minutes.
Okay. I'll ad lib. I'm good.
Who do you want me to put the wearable on?
Yeah.
Either Irene or Karen.
I would think that you would have multiple wearables.
I mean, we're not in this shot. I'm not in the show. Notice William.
I'll put the wearables on Irene and Karen.
Well, let me ask, Irene, does the technology interfere with you contacting the spirits?
No.
I don't see why it would.
But I will tell you
If it did, she wouldn't be on the show.
I will tell you this. We can go and investigate the lighthouse. But this is a dead zone. Whatever is keeping this place in this condition is in the house.
I'm inclined to agree.
And Irene, as you're closer to the house now, and you're closer to the lighthouse, and you still don't hear the voices or the background spirits that you expect to hear, although you do feel a presence, and you can't quite figure out what that is. You can't at this time. You can't tell if it's malevolent or beneficial, or just benign. But you can definitely feel something, and you know that if you wanted to try in the right circumstances, you could try to reach out to it. I don't want you to think that that's totally off the table now for you.
I have a feeling that once we breach the inside of the house, that it's going to be another whole ball game. They want to go check out the lighthouse.
I'll go.
We'll go try it in the lighthouse and see if I can get anything from the lighthouse.
Anyone else coming with us?
Well, you're not going to do anything unless it's on camera.
Yeah, I'm gonna.
I'm wearing the wearable.
I just
wearing
need
the
to
wearable,
do this
Yamato.
setup with. If I can just do this setup with Dave, so that we can get the shots of the house out of the way before we knock that door down.
I'm gonna approach
Then we can
Donald
go and do the-
and Donald. I'm gonna look at you and I'm gonna look at you because it's probably an H6 recorder. And I say, would you like me to do audio?
Oh, if you could, yeah.
I smile and
Don't mind me.
I pick up the receivers and I pick up the field recorder, put the headphones on, and I guess I just follow behind Donald. Don't want you to have to do everything.
Can everyone just say something for the levels then, so he can
Test.
Testing. 1, 2, 3. Testing.
And I'll level them out at a negative 12 dB. Make sure that they're nice and crisp. But yeah, audio's ready to go. And I look at Donald kind of tapping you on the shoulder.
Sean was gone for a moment.
I'm back.
Oh. Hi, Sean.
Okay, yeah. So can we, Dave, if you want to do your intro?
Yeah, just 2 seconds here. Let me prepare. Am I mic'd or am I holding?
Yeah, no, we have a lav on you.
Okay.
So-
All right, excellent.
So as you're
yeah.
just so I know, as you're doing this, where are you standing as you're doing your intro? What are you facing?
I'm going to get him. So he's in the gateway with the house behind him.
Okay.
And then we'll set that up so that because they want to see the house for the sale, so we'll get that in there with the intro. Then we'll go straight across. I'll do a couple of shots of the lighthouse, and then we'll go up to the lighthouse. A door swinging. That's a nice atmospheric touch. We'll make something out of that.
Okay.
All right.
Pretty standard.
You ready for me?
But... Yeah.
Tell when you're ready. Okay. 1, 2, 3. All right. We've arrived at the island. We've had a walk around, and we're quite amazed at what we're finding here right now. I think we've got a few different places we're going to take a look at. Irene has. We're going to speak to her soon. Irene has been having some absolute feelings, some things coming to her that indicate that there's definitely something to this place, and already there's a feeling of unease among the people, among the crew and others. It's a very interesting place. So let's move on to the house. I think we're going to tackle the house first, or perhaps we'll take a wander around first to give you a view of what we've got going. But really, I'm shocked at this house right here. This is quite a feat of architecture.
Donald, as he's doing that, give me a spot hidden roll.
Yes, 29 out of 60.
So you're really focused on him, looking at him through the camera, and about 3/4 of the way through his monologue, you see something almost like a shadow move across on the inside of the wall in the garden area behind him. It's only there for a second, but you could have swore that you saw something.
Well, I'm going to keep shooting. I'll wait until this section's over, but I'm going to make a note of when that happened. so that I can go back and review the tape just to make sure that it's not going to spoil the shot.
Okay.
All right. When I'm done my bit, I guess ad-libbing here as I go, say, all right, now let's take a walk and take a look at this house up here, because I think this is where the focal point of our investigation might be tonight. And I'll turn and start walking up the pathway towards the house.
Okay. And you start walking up the pathway, and I'm assuming that Donald will follow you as well as everybody else slowly behind him. And as you walk through, you notice, and you're pointing this out as you're going through, that the bushes and the garden work in there is also in the shape of the egg of life that you have seen in the blueprints, that supposedly the rooms are, and it's just kind of surrounding the entire house. You get closer to it, and you get up to the door, and the door is just completely bricked up.
Is there any windows at ground level?
There are, well, at ground level, yes, but let me put it this way. They're probably, given what you know of the dimensions of the house, on the first floor, but they're above where you can just go and look in.
Okay.
Is the brickwork new on the? Does it look like it was recently put on the door?
It doesn't look like it was recently put on the door, but it's not the same. It doesn't look like it was put on at the same time the house was built. It was definitely after the house was built. Somebody decided to brick up all the doorways.
If I might mention it to you, the blueprints show that there are actually 3 doors leading into the house. So, in a triangle pattern.
Well, we might as well have a walk around anyway, just to get some shots of the outside of the house.
Okay.
Take a lap around.
Well, I'm assuming we cut as I walk up to the door, and then you can just tell me where to go from there and what shots you want.
Oh, I'm going to keep rolling for now. Just in case we get anything interesting.
Okay.
Can always cut this. I mean, it's up to the editor later. But...
Okay. And you walk around the house, and there are paths all around it, allowing you to do so. And you do end up finding 2 more doors. The main door is on the southern end of the house, whereas the other 2 doors are kind of in the northeast and northwest corners.
Tyler, I think according to the print of the island that you showed us, you keep switching north and south.
I'm sorry.
Because the big circle was at the bottom and the lighthouse was at the top. Right?
Yeah, I think you're right. I keep getting it mixed up.
Yeah, so the north side of the wall is where the entrance to the...
You're right. I apologize. So, yeah, so the glass house is at the southern end. The main entrance door is on the very north of the house, and the other 2 doors are on the southwest and southeast.
Hey, Dave, I've got an idea. Before you start knocking the door down, you're going to knock down the north door. You should say something about how they brick up the north door on churches. That's a tradition.
That is a tradition.
You should mention that because of the idea of the evil coming from the north or something.
All right, I can.
Because it's the same reason they bury suicides in the north side of the graveyard, which is normally unhallowed ground.
Are the other 2 doors bricked up?
I read that on a beer mat.
Yes, they are.
Oh. All right. Well, ready? I'll go. Say, as everyone knows, this is the north door, north side of the building, and traditionally, as we've learned recently from discussions with locals and other persons in the British Isles, north doorways of churches are frequently blocked up because there is a belief at one time that evil came from the north, and the north side of the churchyard being, of course, unhallowed ground where suicides would be buried. So, yes, I think we're going to knock this down.
Well, and as you're doing that, as you're talking about that, you, for dramatic effect, you reach back and kind of put your hand on the brick. And as you do that, you get this sudden, intense, chill, cold feeling go all down your body. And your hand, for a brief second, feels like it's burning, it's ice cold burning. And you yank your hand away, looking at it, you see the red marks on your hand, and take a point of damage.
All right. Whoa! What the hell?
I'm going to get a close up of his hand.
Jeez, I'll step away from the door a bit. What the heck? That was wild. I felt that through my whole body. Icy cold.
I'm also going to start I'm going to just sort of briefly sort of glance from Dave to Yanto and back again, because I don't know whether this is a setup or not. I don't want to say anything because we're rolling.
Let me try it.
I shrugged my shoulders.
Let me try it.
Acting.
I put my hand on the door, on the bricks, and open myself up.
You put your hand on the door and it breaks. Open yourself up. Go ahead and spend 2 magic points and give me a power roll.
Oh, easy.
You don't get burned, but as you put your hand on there, you feel this feeling of intense hatred and loathing.
Well, I'd pull away, shake my hand a little bit, and just like, well, here it is now. Well, are we going to break open the doors?
I think we should. Probably save that for a little later. Maybe we could possibly do the lighthouse and maybe some other things, if that's fine with you, Leonto. I'd like to save the destroying of a brick wall for last.
Well, in general, I would say that Dave is really in charge of this investigation, as whatever he wants.
Well, I'll just say that given that we haven't got a makeup person for some reason, it's best if we save the bit where everyone's going to get covered in brick dust until after we've done the lighthouse.
That is quite wise.
Karen, do you have a makeup bag with you?
Nope, you're muted.
Sorry, I got a little distracted by just the fact that it's so damn cold out here. I have a makeup bag, but it's more my personal makeup.
Not for my colors. It wouldn't work for me, eh?
Oh God, no.
Okay. I'm just throwing out there. I might. Damn.
It's a wonder that we've gotten 7 years in this thing.
Okay. Well, let's take the advice of Mr. Preston and save that for a bit later. Let's wander a bit. We can cut. I mean, I don't want to be covered in dust for the rest of the.
I'll tell you what. You go work on the lighthouse, and I will do my best to break through the bricks while you are there. If I get dirty, it doesn't matter.
Do you want a shot of me holding the sledgehammer up and making a swing towards it?
Yeah, just make a couple of swings at it.
I'm not going to hit it.
No, actually hit it. Just you're not going to get anything on you just with a couple of swings. It's just going to be perfunctory. But if you just want to make a few swings at it,
okay.
Okay. And I'll do a couple of a long shot of you actually hitting it, and then when you come and finish it off later, we can cut in loads of bits of you swinging the thing, make it look like you've knocked down the whole thing.
Yes.
Great. Okay, that's the way I like it. Okay. grab the sledgehammer. You ready? Wind up.
Mhm.
Take a swing.
And
Back.
you hit it right on the brick. Pieces go flying. You didn't knock any bricks out, but it's definitely doable that you're going to be able to knock this brick down.
So I didn't feel anything weird from doing that.
No.
Okay. Well, I'll do a couple more.
And you get some bricks loose, not enough to really get anything out yet.
No, I mean, is that enough shots of me starting it? That's
Yes.
Yeah, that's fine.
Okay.
That's all we need to. Yeah.
great. Whoa,
Now
it's
you
like
all
being
go
at the
have
gym.
you all go have fun at the lighthouse, and I'll take care of these bricks.
All right.
Okay.
Alrighty. Do you want me to have the Steadicam on and lead, or do you want to go and I'll lead behind you?
Well, if you three go ahead, with the two cameras on, and I'll just follow on after you. And like
Okay.
if it comes to when it comes to the footage, I'll just leave that solely to the editor to sort that out.
All right.
We'll just
Got it.
we'll just roll from now on.
Okay.
Gotcha.
Yanto, you're just gonna take one of the sledgehammers and kind of wait till they get a little bit away, so you're not
Making noise. Yeah.
making noise. All right. So all of you, except for Yanto, start heading towards the lighthouse. The lighthouse, like I said before, is directly north along the path from the house, from the glass house to lighthouse, and it's literally a straight shot. In fact, you don't think that this was on accident. This was definitely something that somebody had planned to make these things line up directly. And as you get closer, you get up to the doorway, and you see that the door is open. The door to the lighthouse itself is just open. The wind is kind of pushing it back and forth. And everybody who's there, give me a spot hidden roll.
Made it.
Oh,
Made it that time.
Nope.
All right. So as you're standing outside and looking around, those who made it, you notice that there on the doorway are some pretty heavy scratch marks, as if somebody or something had used something to pry the door open.
They definitely look like pry bar marks.
Yes.
So somebody.
I go in.
Maybe they had a break-in. I'm gonna follow. I switch the cam on.
All right. Irene and Karen walk in, and you enter into what was the keeper's quarters. It was a very large room, very circular room, but now it's mostly packed with boxes and storage supplies for the lighthouse because nobody lives here anymore. There is a metal or metallic staircase that goes along the inner wall up until it reaches the top where you see it disappear to where the light itself is.
Mm-hmm.
Let's go up.
Yeah. Okay.
All right. You start going up, and the stairs themselves, they kind of creak under your weight. A couple steps in, you're not quite sure if they're going to hold. And at one point, Karen, you freeze because you swear you feel that it's falling underneath you, or it's starting to go. But fortunately, it seems to hold okay, and you're all able to get up to the top of the lighthouse. In fact, who all is going to the top of the lighthouse?
I will not.
Okay.
I'm in.
Well, me and Irene are.
Okay. And
Yep.
I assume Donald.
I'm following them. Yep.
Okay. You get to the top of the lighthouse, and the first thing you see is really the view around the island, and it's a incredible view. And you from this vantage point, you can really see the glass house.
Wow.
Look at that.
And you can see just the from here you can really see the layout of the gardens in the whole egg of life pattern surrounding the entire house. And from this vantage point as well, you can see Ianto, and he's working pretty hard with the brick, going at the brick. But while you're up there, tell me what you guys are doing.
Well, I was going to record a little bit of the footage of the house, but since Ianto's down there, I don't want to catch him.
Put my hands on the wall and open myself up.
Okay. Give me another, spend 2 more magic points and give me another power roll.
Thank God I got a high power. Oh, easy.
All right. So you open yourself up, and immediately you pick up an echo of something that happened in the lighthouse a long time ago. You hear the sound of a horrendous storm blowing outside, and then a sound of a man running around the building, gasping for breath as if he's gripped by sheer terror. You can hear whispers in some unknown tongue that you can't identify, and at first they're very quiet, but then they begin to grow at the extremity of your hearing. And then you hear from somewhere else in the building somebody scream, and then footsteps as they run out, slam open the door and run out into the night. You open your eyes to come back because your vision has ended, but all you can see around you is just a illimitable black void that seems to be staring back at you, an intelligent void of darkness that's staring back at you into your very soul. Give me a sanity check.
Oh, no. Oh, no. No.
Take a D4. And after you blink a couple times, your vision comes back. Ianto, you're down at the house, working away at the brick. Go ahead and give me a strength roll.
Okay. Yes, and I think that I would like to retire in a lovely house like this. Strength roll. Oops, where's my strength roll? I got 50 strength. I got 37. Okay.
So you've been working at it a bunch, and you.
I imagine once you get a few bricks out, the others start to fall.
Yeah, you start to get a couple bricks out, and you've gotten a fairly decent hole, probably a hole about the size of maybe like a basketball.
Okay.
And as you from beyond that, you can see that there is a door there, a door with a. You can see the door handle. It's a large metal door. You try it, but it's locked.
Oh, so the door is literally right on the other side.
Yes.
Well, we have the keys. I'm going to continue whichever bricks are becoming loosest because there's no longer any support underneath them. If I can get a something big enough that we can fit through,
Okay.
I'm also being extremely wary because I could hit the bricks in such a way that they all come crashing down.
You're right.
All of a sudden. So
all right, so you start doing that, and slowly you're able to get them loose, and slowly pick them apart. You figure that at this rate, it's probably going to take you another 15 minutes to get it at least big enough where you can get into the doorway or fully access the doorway.
And as I wipe the sweat from my brow and I look up at the lighthouse, I can see the others up there. Let me give them a little.
The way I was doing this is as this was happening, I was repeating I was seeing so that the others know what was going on.
Okay. And Donald, you've gotten all of this on film. When this happens, what is after Irene does this? What are you all doing?
Jesus,
I'm just keeping rolling.
intense.
I'm just running sound down on the first floor because I can, with a wireless lock, I can do that.
You don't have to be in here.
While you're down there, you get bored. I mean, you're running sound, but you're kind of standing in the bottom of a lighthouse with nobody else.
Sure, sounds boring. I get it.
Yeah, and you start looking around, and behind one of the all the boxes contain a lot of different tools, things to repair the lighthouse itself in case there need lights, things like that. But you do find kind of tossed behind one of the boxes a crowbar, a metal crowbar.
Okay. I guess I kind of picked that up, and it was a table. I'm assuming I'm sitting at a table.
Yeah.
So I pick it up and I walk back to I imagine I have like these big, huge studio headphones and the long cord. So I just take the crowbar right back to the field mixer and sit down and just keep doing what I'm doing just with a crowbar now.
Okay.
Maybe smoking a cigarette as I'm literally just turning a dial slightly to the left and slightly to the right now and again.
Okay. Those back at the top of the lighthouse. Give me a so you're looking around, and you see Ianto down at the bottom, trying to break through the brick. And there's this huge light there, the lighthouse light, and everybody who's up there, give me a mechanical repair roll.
Oh God.
Oh.
Oh God, you have the wrong person.
I actually made it.
No, of course not.
Yes.
So for the rest of you, it looks fine. It looks like you've probably never been in a lighthouse before. It's a big honking light. It looks like what it could be.
Looks like it should work.
Yeah, Irene, you're kind of after your vision, you're kind of staring at it, and something just doesn't look right on the light itself. Something looks wrong about it.
What?
You get down closer, and you can see where the acetylene gas for the lighthouse, the light itself, kind of flows into, or where it's supposed to flow into the light to create to illuminate. But the line that contains the gas has actually been cut. Looking around a little bit closer, you can see that it looks like the ignition mechanism for the light has been damaged, and the light itself is on a track, so it can spin around. And you see that part of the track has actually been damaged as well, so that the light is actually facing out into the ocean away from the house and cannot move.
And is the light working?
No.
Well, I don't have enough mechanical repair to fix that thing, so.
I got diddly. I couldn't.
Look, I
can't.
I have no idea.
I had basic 10%. I'm surprised I passed that. So, I mean, it was a fluke. There's no way I know enough to fix this thing.
I've got 50 mechanical repair.
Looking at the damage, you can see that it's probably fixable, but you're going to need some tools and equipment, and it's going to take you a number of hours if you were actually going to try to do it.
Does it look like it's been done on purpose?
Yes, it does not look like it has been. It was on accident. There's no broken glass around here, so it's not like there's a lightning strike that hit it and damaged it or anything like that. It was definitely damaged on purpose, sabotage.
Who the hell would sabotage a line?
The more important question is if it's an acetylene line, is acetylene leaking into the room?
No, the acetylene part is turned off. Just the line to it is just cut and damaged in multiple places, so that if you were to turn on the gas, it would just leak into the room itself.
There must be spares, though. I mean, it's a lighthouse. They must keep spares here.
I shout up, there could be stuff down here, because I can hear them.
Oh yeah, and looking around the room, you see boxes of labeled with various, repair items for the light itself.
Yeah. So I shout up, there could be something down here if you want to fix it. Don't see why.
I mean, why do we need to fix it? None of us are mechanics. We just need to get into the house and investigate. That's our jobs.
Exactly, I shout. There's nothing up there. I don't know why we're here. There's nothing interesting up there.
I'm going to take some footage of the damage.
Okay.
Anyway.
So you get footage of that.
I've got to do something while I'm waiting for them to go down because I can't leave until they go down.
I'll make it look like I'm actually interested in like what was broke. Like I have some knowledge of what I'm looking at. Poke, poke.
You just tap it. Stroke your chin a bit. Carburetor.
All right, so you fiddle around with it. You get some good shots, and then I'm gonna assume everybody just starts heading back down.
Yeah, I mean, No, I'm heading back down. There's no point in fixing it. It's clearly beyond our scope, and we have limited time on the island.
And everybody heads back down. Donald, you spin around to get one final shot of the island and of the house. And as you do that, you kind of in your lens you can see the house itself from this great vantage point. You can see Ianto down there, but you also see a dark shape behind him.
When you say behind him, I mean, is this dark shape? Is this just a shadow behind him, or does it look like there's actually like a person standing behind him?
Are you going to zoom in?
Yes.
So you zoom in and you get really in close, and you can see Ianto, and you can see what looks like a person in a black suit standing right behind him. The person turns around, and in front of you, you're able to focus into his face really well. Give me a sanity check.
16. That's a pass.
All right, so lose one. The figure turns around, and you can see right into his face, and his face is looks like a man, or it is a man's face, but his skin is covered where his veins should be are kind of like this black ichor flowing through it and showing through this translucent skin. His eyes are just completely black, and he smiles looking directly at you, and you can see these rows of sharp teeth. And immediately the figure, after he smiles at you, spins around, goes out of view, and then Ianto, you're standing there working on the brick. You get it really, feeling, getting to a point where you can really see the door. It's big enough for the door. When all of a sudden, give me a dexterity check.
Okay. 59, which I've only got a 40 on dexterity, so I did not pass.
Okay. You feel this force behind you, this incredibly cold force, hit your back, slamming you into the door. Take a D3 in damage as you hit the door and just fall back stunned.
Okay. I took 2 points of damage. Oh, I dropped the sledgehammer and I fall down, and I wonder in that moment if perhaps some of the bricks came loose above me and hit me in the back.
You look around and you don't see any loose bricks lying on the ground. Everything is where it should be. Donald, you saw this as well from up on top of the lighthouse. You see the figure just kind of move quickly into Ianto, and Ianto going flying into the door.
Is the figure still there?
No, as soon as that happens, he disappears.
So the other two have got their wearables on. I'm just gonna sit down in the lighthouse where I am, on the step or something, and just run the footage back through my viewfinder and see if the camera actually caught that.
You run the footage back, and the footage is fine. Looking at the lighthouse and that. But when you get to the footage where you spin around and you start to focus in on Ianto and the dark shape, it starts to get very staticky and crackly, and it's very difficult to make things out. And you go through it once, and you get to the point where you can see something there, but it's very staticky, and then you see through the static Ianto being forced into the door. And you rewind it a little bit to take a second look, and you pause it at one point, and you get this half staticky but very clearly seen picture of that face, of the face with the black veins and the black eyes staring and smiling at you with these pointed teeth.
Okay.
Donald, are you all right?
Gonna let the
what are you doing? What are you looking at?
Yeah, look at this. I'm gonna show them the footage. I'm not gonna say anything about it. I'll just show you. Just look at this.
Are you replaying the whole footage, or just at
I'll
that pause moment?
I'll replay the whole footage, and I'll pause it and frame by frame it to get the best.
And for the most part, as Donald plays through it, you see the static. It go from very clear to staticky, and just like I described, through the static you can see this dark figure. Very hard to see through the static, but then Ianto getting just pushed into the door, and as Donald goes through it frame by frame, he ends up landing on that face. And a chill just goes down everybody's spine.
You can see that, right? You can
Yeah.
see that.
I
can see.
Christ.
Wow.
Meanwhile, Ianto is sitting
not
on
just
the.
That thing turned around and looked right at me. That's. If this is some setup, I'm not in on this.
No, this isn't a setup.
Wow. That's amazing.
But we better go
Good
down.
on
He got knocked down.
Well, we
We
should
gotta
get
go.
down there. We need to rush down there and see how he's doing.
Mhm.
Keep filming. Don't turn off the
Yeah,
camera.
I'll keep filming.
I've got the Steadicam going, I'm going.
If he set this up without telling us, I'm gonna chin him.
Or he's a genius, one or the other. But keep filming.
Well, I'm going to get back up and continue working, but I don't see the bricks that must have hit me, but that must have been what it was.
Okay. After and you're pretty dazed, so you're working at a much slower pace. But after about another 10 minutes or so, everybody comes running down the path towards you.
What's the matter? Oh, you saw. It's nothing. I was probably hit by a brick, but
Donald, show him the footage.
I've cleared
Yeah,
quite
you
a
got to
bit
see
there.
this.
Yeah, I think you need to see this.
Oh, do I really have to see this footage?
Yes,
I'm
you
sure
Yes,
that
yes,
it's
you do.
quite exciting. All right. What are you going to show me?
I'm going to replay the footage to him.
Who is that standing behind me?
Mm-hmm.
I-
Exactly.
You don't know?
Didn't you see it?
But there was nobody there. Oh my God. What is that? No, I'm sorry.
Yeah.
I'm sorry. I've played too many pranks on you and you're getting your revenge. I understand. But as you can
No,
see, I've
we
cleared
didn't
most
do
of
this, Yanto.
If this isn't a prank, this is the mother lode. This is,
Yes,
I mean, just from this footage alone.
You're it.
Well, it if you pulled something off here, please tell me, because the fact that it corresponds quite well with the bricks hitting me.
I was just taking some B-roll of the house from the top of the lighthouse, just for a bit of, just because we just had our scene up there. I was just keeping the camera rolling before we went down, and I got that. I just zoomed in because I couldn't see who it was. I thought maybe it was the guy from the boat.
Who the hell could we have possibly else gotten on this island? There's us, there's Preston, and there's the sailor. There's nobody else here. We brought nobody else.
Yeah, but there could be some
some sort of squatter,
eccentric-
maybe.
Yeah, remember years ago there was that guy, the leopard man guy who lived on one of the islands up here.
I remember that.
That guy who tattooed himself with leopard spots, and he'd wear a loincloth, and he sharpened his teeth. And
I did see that on the internet.
yeah,
yes.
yeah, he lived wild on an island up here. So,
But
it attracts people like that.
in any case, perhaps we can't explain it at this point. But you can see I've cleared enough to where we can get to the door. Do you have the key?
Yes, I do.
Yeah, hang on a second.
And I then approach Yanto with the crowbar in my hand.
What's the crowbar? Where did you find the crowbar?
I found the crowbar in the lighthouse. It looks like whoever was the door is open. It looks like someone forced to open the door.
Let Dave do the business with opening the door, though.
So there was damage to the lighthouse.
Yes,
Oh, perhaps we do have some eccentric on the island.
that's exactly what I'm going to suggest. Is that there's someone else here on the island.
Packed up the line to the light.
Somebody doesn't
Jammed
want us
it.
to be here. I noticed, by the way, that the door, what we can see of it, is quite a beautiful door. It's a shame we can't get rid of all of these bricks so that we can actually see this. This is quite a beautiful house that's been built here.
I probably get a shot of the door from inside.
Well, I think we have enough room here where we can fit through if you want to into the house.
Yeah.
Now, if the door opens outward, the bricks aren't going to let it come out open, right?
The door opens inward.
Okay, then we're fine.
Okay. Well, Yanto, if you start feeling weird or anything, you sit down, you take a break. I mean, you hit that door pretty hard.
Well, I'm somewhat used to being buffeted about.
You know what I don't get, though? I mean, if someone with the people who come and live on islands like this, like the people who are squatting them, they do that because they want to be left alone. They want to get away from people.
Well, perhaps that's why he's attacking us.
Yeah, but why attack the light? Why damage the lighthouse? Because if you damage a lighthouse, people are just going to come out and repair it.
That's true.
It's just going to
Look
attract
for you.
attention. Yeah,
Maybe he
absolutely.
was-
It is.
Put up cameras or
Maybe
something.
he was just bored. I mean, he could have just been staying in the lighthouse, sleeping or something, and he inadvertently damaged the lighthouse.
This is
I
probably
was actually...
an absolutely
Go
crazy
forward.
theory.
Going on the-
But what if this guy is some sort of psychopath that wants to lure people to the island to hurt them? So that's why he sabotaged the lighthouse. So whoever would come to the island, he could, hunt him down and kill him.
It seems like a rather elaborate plan for somebody to move into an extremely remote island. And
Build a house.
I mean, psychopaths would do much better in the middle of a big city.
And not only that, but it would be a very elaborate plan to get the camera crew here to get killed by the killer and to lure us in. I mean,
Maybe it's just after our sandwiches.
Perhaps that's it. We should keep our eyes out for him, but
Well, yeah, no.
Eating
Here's a.
seagulls can't
It's a
be
shame.
fun.
I got a crazy idea that maybe this is what we've been looking for 7 years.
some sort of spiritual attack.
Something to boost our ratings. Something real.
Yo.
Well, perhaps this will turn into
a
something.
weird, freaky bloke living on an island in the middle of nowhere, isn't it?
I do wish, though, that the lighthouse had been operational, because it would have made rather a dramatic setting to see that thing spinning around in the evening.
Well, it's broken. Do you know how to fix mechanical things? You could take a shot at it.
Over the years, I've done quite a lot of mechanical stuff, but...
Well, here's an idea. Why don't we take one of the big lights up there and make it, and have someone walk around with it so it looks like it's going around?
Well, these are...
Yes. I think that if it's a mercury light, it's probably this big.
Yeah, it was a pretty big light that would have...
Oh, they can enhance it in post.
Oh, you said it was acetylene. Yeah, there's no light.
I could probably, if there are spares in there, I could probably get it running, but it'd take the rest of the day. We'd be better off just waiting until we go back to the mainland.
We'll worry about that
and then
tomorrow.
Just getting in touch with the lighthouse board.
Just use CG.
And they'll send someone properly. They'll send someone out to fix it properly.
We could have Percy back in the CGI department do that stuff afterwards. Make it look quite dramatic.
Mm-hmm.
Maybe he can enhance that film that you took of whatever or whoever it was who attacked me.
Yeah. Open the door.
Yes, let's go inside.
Yeah, Dave.
Yeah.
Dave, open the door. Let's get some footage of you.
All right, so Dave, you take the key.
Nice sound effect.
I planned that. The door creaks open. You go in?
Hang on.
Yep.
Right. No. Wait there. Hang on. Right, I'll go in,
Okay.
close the door again, and then we'll do it again with me on the inside so that I can get you walking into the building. Okay?
All right, Donald, you walk in and you close the door behind you, and as soon as you walk into the room, which I'll describe here in a second, the lights in there go on. They appear to be on some type of motion sensor.
Sweet.
And then you film again. Donald, you open Dave, you open the door again.
Oh, that sort of destroys the illusion then, doesn't it? Too bad. That the lights are already
Just
on.
wait a second. Wait a second until the lights go off again.
Yeah, wait a minute. Yeah, wait until the lights go off.
So after 2 or 3 minutes, you hold very still and the lights go off.
Okay. Yep. Go.
In we go.
And
All right, so Dave, you open the door again.
Yep.
Walk in, the lights go on again. Who goes in next?
Me.
Irene, you start to walk into the house, and as soon as you step over the threshold into the house, that anger that you felt before comes over you tenfold, and you are pushed by. First off, give me a sanity check, and then you are pushed by some force.
I made it finally.
Close up on Irene.
All right, just one. Lose one sanity as you're pushed back out of the door into Karen, who's standing right behind you.
Okay, just in all fairness, that's 5 sanity points in an hour.
Okay, that's not 20%, is it?
No, it's just 5. It's not 20.
Okay, you're good. But everybody sees this, and Donald, you have it on camera. You know you have it on camera because you were focused right on Irene as she was walking in.
Excellent.
Okay, we did not. That was real. That just happened. That was not the wind, you guys.
you got that on film, right?
Yeah. I pulled the
Karen, give me a
right.
sanity check as well. You're freaking out about this a little bit.
I am okay. I already made a sanity check.
All right, Karen.
Oh, I'm sorry.
Oh. And I actually don't make it.
So D3. You see this happening, and you're freaking out.
Just one, but
I get up and walk back in again.
You walk back in
I stay out of her way this time.
A little uneasy, but you walk in without issue.
I walk in a little warily and
You walk in, hesitantly, taking step by step, and you're able to get in without an issue. And in fact, everybody else who comes in is able to walk into the room without a problem. The room itself, so I can describe it, is perfectly circular. There are two doors leading out. So if you're kind of walking straight ahead, to your left and to your right are two doors, both closed, leading to other rooms.
Is there any furnishing in the house at all?
Well, in this room, it's completely empty. There, however, on the floor is a mosaic that covers the entire floor that depicts the flower of life. There is also a stairs that are on the inner wall that start here in kind of the corner of the room and start going up. And the way that the stairs are kind of situated is they go along the inner wall, which is curved as well, and they start going into the next room. It almost looks like the stairs kind of probably go all the way around the house as they go up. In addition to that,
we saw that's in the blueprints. Yes.
Right. Yes. In addition to that, the ceiling is painted as if it was the night sky, and the constellations Aries and Taurus are there. And the walls are painted where they go from the dark night and gradually get lighter till they hit the floor and to a white. In addition, everybody give me an architecture roll.
I got a 5.
Nice.
I don't have that.
I don't have that.
I got a 91.
Base is like 1%, I think.
Oh, is it?
Yeah,
Well, base-
71 is not a 1.
I got an 8, but
Okay.
If I could,
Base for-
I will let you spend luck or first rolls as well. So
I will
keep in mind.
spend 4 luck points, taking my luck down to 31.
Okay.
What's base? 1?
I think so.
Well, base,
I rolled 2.
base for arts and crafts is 5.
Oh, okay. So then 5.
Oh,
I'll say it's 5.
Then just kidding. I'm going back to 35.
All right. So some of you made it.
Amazingly.
So you're looking at the wall, the inner wall where the stairs are, and they're a little odd. They look a little odd to you, and it almost looks like where the way that the stairs are situated as they go up the wall, because they start here and start going up. It almost looks like there should be like a door directly underneath the stairs in the middle of the wall, of the inner wall.
Well, where's your sledgehammer there?
It's with the Anto. I point
We
to
we
Anto.
can't go destroying the inside of the house. The
No,
house.
just tap. Just try to get it.
Well, I'm going to walk over and knock on it.
Oh, you could do that too.
Is it hollow?
Probably made of stone.
It is hollow. You start tapping around. I mean, does your character have any construction experience? Because you're basically tapping on the inside wall of a house. It's all going to be hollow.
No, she does not have any experience, but she's like trying to figure out if the area where there should be a door specifically was made to be a door, if it's an illusion,
No.
as the others have pointed out.
No, it's not an illusion or anything like that.
okay.
Give me a spot hidden as you go up close to it.
Oh yeah, I made that.
You as you're standing there in the middle of kind of the middle, standing in front of the middle of the wall, you can see where it almost looks like an area has been redone. So it looks like there was a shape of a door, and then it was replastered over and repainted. You can kind of make out the very thin line of where a door had been that somebody had put drywall up over.
Okay, so it was definitely a doorway into something.
Yes.
I'd call the others over to take a closer look at it and point this out to them.
And everybody can kind of see that faint outline.
Yeah.
I'll zoom in on it as best I can.
Reach out and put my hands on it and open myself.
Be careful, Irene.
Go ahead and
Pan out.
spend the 2 magic points and give me. You know what? You don't even have to give me a power roll, because within seconds of you doing that, putting your hand on there and reaching out, you sense that there is a presence on the other side of there. To you, in your mind, you can see a room on the other side, but there is a dark presence on the other side. As soon as as soon as Irene does this, well, first off, everybody give me a sanity check.
I keep missing these sanity checks.
Fail.
Pass.
Pass.
If you make it, 1. If you fail, a D4. Because as soon as Irene puts her hand on the door, and in her mind, Irene, you can feel this dark presence, and you can immediately hear this cacophony of alien voices in your mind, just building higher or louder and louder. The entire house begins to shake.
Whoa.
Irene, you start to bleed out of the corners of your eyes and your ears and your nose. Take a point of damage as well. And you try to break contact, but normally you can just immediately sever the psychic contact you have with the other side, but you're not able to. Something is trying to pull you in deeper. Give me a power roll.
Oh yeah.
You made it? Wow.
Yeah.
What type of success?
Just a normal success. I got a 40. I got a 46 out of a 90. I mean, an 80. So.
Okay. So you struggle there for about 10 or 20 seconds, and in the meantime, the whole house is shaking. Everybody in the room with you can all see this, and you can see just the blood dripping from Irene's eyes, ears, and nose. Irene, you keep going. The voices in your head just start to build louder and louder, and you can feel something reaching out, some type of darkness reaching out, trying to pull you in. And then you're finally able to sever the connection, and you kind of drop back a little bit away from the wall. And as soon as that happens, the shaking of the house stops.
Of course, I run over there, and I'm panicked. I'm terrified. I'm trying to get her propped up. I'm trying to figure out if she's okay.
There is a room on the other side of this door, and inside of it is a great evil.
And this is when I chuckle.
I'm not chuckling because I don't think that they have any way to jiggle the house.
Wow. Wind. It's windy. It's a windy day.
It's a round house. It should be perfectly aerodynamic.
Could be a bad, poorly made house.
Well, she's a good actress, but I'm starting to believe that there's something far more sinister and dark here because of the thing behind me.
Time she's started bleeding from her nose like this. Look at her. This is not normal.
Is it like blood pellets or what?
Exactly what I'm.
No. Can't smell that. That smells like blood.
Of course it does. However, something is going on here that we've gotten ourselves mixed up in, and I don't know what it is. But good for
Can I assume I've told everybody the information I gathered in the pub?
Oh yeah.
Okay.
Yeah, you've had more than an ample opportunity to. Is
this room the center, the very center of this main floor of this room? Where is that in relation to this hidden room? The very center.
So you can line up the front door the hidden door directly. In fact, if you were standing like right where the hidden door is and looking out of the front door, it would line up directly with the lighthouse. It looks directly down the path straight.
Okay. In the center of the building that we're in, the very center.
Well, you're in the center of the room. You're not in the center of the building.
Okay.
So
Because
if you let me.
Just thinking,
If there was
sorry, go ahead.
if there was a secret room, it would be in the center of the house, with the staircase going around it, according to the blueprints that we saw.
I'm just thinking it said it was built around those rocks.
What do you suppose that means?
So I don't know if you guys can see this, just so you can see the blueprints again. You are all in this room.
Okay.
Right. And the secret room would be in the center.
The secret room would be like, the door would be like right here.
So that's where those rocks are. This building was built around those mystical rocks.
If what you were told is true, then
yes. If so,
Well, you say one of the construction people told you this. He would have been here long before the house was finished. So he would know.
That's exactly what I'm thinking.
Maybe it's built on some sort of sacred site. Maybe it's a sort of... This house has a sort of like a Faraday cage over it, doesn't it? In the dome.
Actually, according to the blueprints, the entire house has a Faraday cage around it. So the Faraday cage is like in the walls, in the dome, everywhere.
I figure that was simply to protect it from the lightning during a storm.
No, what?
But the lightning is going to hit
I'm not
that.
much of a scientist, but I don't think Faraday cages are for that.
Give me an occult roll.
It's a metal cage. The lightning would hit the wind
Oh,
and it would travel around the outside.
Well, maybe the guy who had it built was one of those people who's, like a, what do they call them? Preppers.
Make it, Tyler.
Well,
Faraday cages have been known to be used to kind of keep in supernatural energies. So it is likely.
And so I bring this to people. And that's probably exactly what Irene heard.
With that, the front door slams shut, causing everybody to jump.
Jesus.
Crap.
I'm going to walk over to the door, and I'm going to open it.
At first, you go and you jiggle the handle, and it feels like it's stuck.
Why did I figure that was going to happen? We're in a haunted house.
Of course.
With a door that closes behind us and then won't open.
I say it's probably whoever we saw outside who's just holding the door, and I begin pulling at it.
You pull. Give me a strength roll.
Alrighty. That is my strength. Well, let's see what I roll. Okay. Roll a 30. My strength is 50. Cool. Alright, so it's not a hard.
So you start pulling on it, and you're really struggling. If it's stuck, it's really stuck. And finally, you can feel it give, and the door just slams open as you're able to get it open. The light from outside comes in, and as soon as that happens, the door in the room to the left slowly creaks open.
Whoa.
Can I make a luck roll to see whether I got that happening on film?
Absolutely.
Probably the air pressure change when the door...
89. No, I just missed that. Oh.
You caught the audio of it creaking open, but you didn't actually spin around in time to see it doing that.
Hold up. I still have the steady cam on. I'm going to make a luck roll. I just barely missed it. It was 60 luck and I rolled a 66.
Well, you were all staring at William, anyway.
Yeah, and I literally I point to the door, and I think Ianto said it's just the shift in air pressure. I just point to the door and I say exactly. It's just everything can be explained in here except for maybe the house shaking. But then again, it could have
Oh
been.
yeah. I mean, the explanations are their job, though. I just want the footage.
Yeah.
Right.
Well, you're doing your job, Donald, and I kind of look at you and I was like, but we're inside the house now. Are we not going to do any introductions or talk about the house on camera or?
Yes, can we also do a time check? What time is it? How long have we been here?
You've been on the island for about by this point in time, you've probably been on the island 2.5 hours or so.
Okay.
So
Should someone go down and check on the boat?
Yancho, if you want to go check on, or if you want me to, I can check on the boat.
I'm just afraid the guy's going to bail on us.
Well, if you like, I'll go check. I don't think that he's going to bail on us because we haven't paid him yet.
Well,
But
this is your crew. I'll go check.
all right.
And I kind of smile and I nod and I leave.
I guess
And
I'll do sound. So
Yeah. Well,
I'll take
sounds easy. They're in a just. I'll set the dials and pretty much that's all.
I know how to do sound. I've been doing this for years.
And I hand you the recorder, and the smile I've been holding is starting to wane.
Okay.
It's starting to go away, and I leave without pretty much saying anything else.
I'm starting to get a bit
So-
hungry, to be honest.
So your smile starts to go away, as in you're losing patience, or
I'm losing patience, and there's not a professional air, so I'm getting upset. So I leave.
Okay.
And I'm walking down to the boat.
Okay, so you leave, heading out. As he leaves, what is everybody else doing?
Well, I don't
I'm
stop
I'm
him,
getting
but-
ready for the intro.
Yeah, I get ready to help collect. If I'm not needed to be introduced, I'm gonna try to look into that door that just opened. If I am needed, I'll stay where I am.
Well, why don't you do some of this intro here for the inside, and I'll stand with you.
All right.
Share the responsibilities here a bit, and I'll jump in.
Okay, let me just calm down a little bit. I'm a little startled
Well, this is
after
good.
what
This
just
is good.
happened.
This is good. This is good.
Right. Right. Think of the ratings. Okay, so whenever you're ready to roll, Donald.
Yep.
Try to ad
He's
lib.
never stopped rolling.
Okay.
Yeah, he just cuts it. He'll cut it. Good.
All right. Yeah, sorry. Okay, so 3, 2, 1. Okay, so we are inside the glass house, and we've actually found the experiences to be intensifying since we've entered in here. We've got some interesting footage so far, and of all this.
It's okay. It's okay.
Sorry, I need
We're
to
all
sit down.
shaking up here. It's all.
I need to sit down.
So grab a seat. Well, look,
So,
things we've been finding some interesting things. We've got a lot of interesting occurrences right now. And Irene, how are you doing right now?
I'm a little shaken, but I'm ready to go.
Okay. Well, we have to make some decisions here on what we're going to look at next, because that doorway, that false doorway, that's not the false door, the hidden doorway. You say, what are you telling us? We don't believe we should go in there.
I'm telling you that inside there is the source of the evil. There is a room in there, and it is the source of the evil. Whatever possesses this house is being held most likely captive in there.
And this other door is just opened, has it not? This wasn't open before, I believe.
no, it was shut.
Let's take a look in there. Let's see what's in there first.
All right.
Although it's almost like we're being led somewhere. Let's be cautious.
Well, I'm gonna switch on the night vision mode just to see if we can see anything.
Okay, and
We must have some kind of an EM meter or something like that we can turn on.
Well, there are windows that should be with light coming in.
the windows are actually kind of high up on the wall, and they're shuttered.
Oh,
So
it's
no
dark.
light is getting through. Right.
There are no more automatic lights in the other room.
As you walk into the other room, the lights spring on. There are automatic lights as well. You walk into the room and you see that it's a library. On the outer walls of the library are just floor-to-ceiling bookshelves, all with a sliding ladder that would go around the entire room. However, all of the bookshelves are empty, but are scattered around the room are a dozen unopened crates, all labeled as containing. The labels on them indicate that they're containing books. Just like the first room you were in, the ceiling is painted with constellations, the constellations of Cancer and Gemini. And you also see that the stairs end here. You can see them go up, come in through the left side of the room, fairly close to the ceiling, and then end up in the middle of the room going up to the second floor. Just like the first room you were in, there was the door going back to the first room. We'll call that the first room the lobby. And then a door kind of on the left going into another room. That door is also closed. You all get the feeling that Patrick Raleigh, or whoever was intended to live here, based on the boxes and lack of furniture that you're seeing, that there's no that they weren't completely moved in.
The books are the boxes of books, are they sealed shut, or is this something we can just take a peek?
They're wooden boxes, but you can easily open them. Some of them are kind of cracked open. If you start looking through them, you see that a lot of them, some of them contain fiction books. Some actually rather expensive. They look almost like first editions of well-known novels. Others contain reference material, like encyclopedias, geographic references, and you do find another another box which contains a number of books that you would consider to be more supernatural and folklore related.
I'm
There's
going to take a look
probably
through
about
those.
a dozen books around here, or sorry, a dozen boxes.
We'll take a look through the occult box.
Okay, you start digging through the box, starting to basically just root through it to see what you can find. Give me a sanity check.
I barely make it by 2. I make it by 2.
I'm looking over his shoulder, so I'll make one too, and I did make that.
Well, no, you don't have to make it.
Oh, I don't. Oh, awesome, great.
As Karen is kind of rooting through that. Yeah, I'm sorry. You made it.
Yeah.
Go ahead and lose a d4. Karen, as you're rooting through it, you reach your hand in and you're starting to move books away. But once you get to the close to the bottom, as you're rooting around, the books feel like they become liquid, and you try to pull your hand. It almost feels like some of them have gone rotten. You know how rotten or wet paper feels, and you start to pull your hands out, but your hands won't come out, and you can see that the books are starting to kind of melt in there, and they're not melting into water or anything hot. They're melting into blood. Blood and skin and other gore just within it, and you're trying to pull your hands out, but you can't. They're stuck in there, and you pulling as hard as you can, breathing faster and faster until you just think that you can't. You're going to be stuck here. There's nothing that you can do, and your hands fling out, and you look back down, and the books are fine. everybody else in the room saw her reach down in there, kind of panic for a second, and then step back.
Are you all
Something?
right, dear?
Okay.
You're freaking out about
I swear to God, this is not a prank. You guys know me. I would not prank you guys. Not like this. I reached in that crate, and it turned into, like, slaughterhouse leavings is the only way I can describe it.
You even had the smell hit your
Blood, organs, rotting flesh. That's what it was like. It was like I stuck my hands into a corpse.
And with that, William, you're walking down. You leave the house, walk down the path. The wind, just like you felt before, is hitting your face. You can hear the gulls crying and the crashing of the waves hitting the cliffs all around the island. You start heading down the path to the dock, and you start getting down to the dock, or going down the path to the dock. And at first, so the path kind of curves around a little bit as it goes down, and at first you don't see the boat, and so you get a little nervous, and so you start to pick up the speed until you get to about halfway down where you can fully see the dock, and then you really start to pick up speed because you can see the boat about 30 or 40 feet out from the dock, sinking into the water, and you run down to the dock, and you're standing on the dock, and you can see the boat just kind of listing there, half sunk in the water. And give me a sanity check.
No problemo, boss. 27.
Pass.
That's a pass.
So lose 2, because as the boat is there kind of listing, water is filling up the cabin, and as a wave hits it, you can see McGregor inside slam up against the glass of the inner cabin, blood across his neck, where you can clearly see that his throat has been cut, as the boat then slowly begins to sink down into the waves.
All right.
And that's where we'll end it for tonight.
Damn it.
Excellent.
Okay, well, our players included Jerry Bryant, Jen Coulter, Sean Little, Thomas McKeon, Mick Swan, and myself, with Tyler Hudak as the Keeper of the Secrets. We're currently producing 4 shows a week with music and sound effects added in post-production in order to create a richer listener experience. We provide audio-only versions of our shows free for you to download from Podbean or iTunes. Patrons of our show can now enjoy recordings of our pre- and post-game conversations. Some of the funniest and most interesting stuff occurs before and after the show. One of our patrons, Gregory Larson, just upped his contribution to $5 a month. Thank you very much, Gregory. If you'd like to become a patron, visit our Patreon account. Just a few dollars a month will help us a lot. Like, share, and subscribe to our channel for updates on our latest shows, and leave us some comments. We love hearing from you. This is Tom Rayleigh, together with all the members of our gaming club, inviting you to journey with us once again into the darkness for another adventure into the universe of H.P. Lovecraft and the Call of Cthulhu role-playing game. Until next time, good luck and good gaming.